Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Tony from Tony's Professional Touch, based out of San Bernardino, California. And today we're going to be talking about how I started my detailing business at 16 years old and do it full-time at 19 years old.
All right, Tony. So you're 16, man. What got you started in this?
Well, I used to work at my uncle's body shop when I was 16. I was working there since I was like around 12, every like weekends and summers. I was always into cars and everything. At first, I wanted to be a mechanic, but it didn't really work out. Like, I still like doing mechanic stuff, but just on my own vehicles, not really like for other people. And then I was looking at like the money-wise, mechanic really wasn't worth it for me. I know there's like businesses, like if you're your own business owner as a mechanic, you can make a lot of money, but not if you're like working for a shop or anything. So I looked around. I would always clean my own car. So I had a Subaru Forester. I always keep that thing clean. And then I was like looking around. It was funny because I actually thought that I was like one of the first people to think about mobile detailing, because my parents never ever hired a mobile detailing, so I didn't even know it existed. I just thought it was like my parents just always went to like the car wash places, so I was like, oh, I can go to people and wash their cars, and like I don't see that happening around San Bernardino or anything. And then it turns out when I look it up on Google and YouTube and stuff, it's already something that's been out for years.
So let me recap real quick. You were working with your uncle at 16.
Yep.
And then you didn't like it? Did you quit?
I liked it. I learned a lot. It's just the pay wasn't enough, and I'm trying to have a lot of money, buy a lot of cars and stuff, so I wasn't gonna be able to do that and pay bills and all that stuff. So I just like. So
you told your uncle, "Hey, uncle, I'm quitting today, uncle."
Oh, I told him, like, I gave him like a 2-week notice. As soon as I got my driver's license, so when I made the appointment to get my driver's license to do the test, I was like, all right, well, if I pass, then I'm quitting. If I don't pass, then I'll stay a bit more until I pass.
So I'm assuming you pass.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, actually, I failed the first time because the tail light on the car like wasn't working or whatever. Then 2 weeks later, I passed.
Oh man. All right, and then you got your driver's license. How did you start the detailing? Were you mobile, or were people coming to you first?
I was mobile since the beginning, but I didn't have a nice setup or anything. I had the most basic stuff, just 2 buckets, my products. I was actually doing the work out of my Subaru Forester, which is like a little compact SUV. I had an electric pressure washer. I brought my own hoses, my own extension cords. I would have to connect everything to the customers' houses, so I would have to tell them like, hey, I need to use your water and electricity or else I can't do the car, and then they let me know. Sometimes it was a deal breaker for them, but other times it worked out.
And you were doing this and going to school at the same time, high school?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you stuck with detailing till now.
Yep.
How did that affect your grades at high school?
It started declining, so I used to be like a straight A student, and I was just getting the A's for my parents and stuff. They wanted me to go to college, but I wasn't really feeling it. So as soon as I started the business, I realized I don't really have enough time for both. Like, I got a bunch of homework from school, or I gotta get a bunch of work from business, and I just decided business over school.
How did your parents feel about that?
They weren't too happy at first, but it didn't really matter to me too much.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just do what I like.
Nice. How do they feel about your business now?
I think they're proud.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now that you're doing it full time?
Yeah.
You know, you're busy making money?
I'm decent.
All right, man. So, my next thing is, when did you get this van?
Not too long ago. I've only had it for like around a year, a little over a year. Last year, around like March or February of 2020 was when I got it. Before that, I had the Subaru since I started, and then I sold the Subaru to get money for this. And I had to borrow my mom's RAV4 to detail in the meantime because I didn't have enough money when I sold the Subaru. So it took me a few months to get this, and then here we are.
Hey, Tony, but you started young, man.
Yeah.
What's your goals?
Eventually, I want to get a couple vans, a couple shops, a couple employees.
So like a whole fleet thing?
Sort of, yeah. Not too big, but like decent enough. Like, I actually want to expand to like Florida and Texas, and then a little bit more in California, but it takes time, and then finding the right people.
Definitely, man. And how much do you work right now? At 19, 5 days a week, or?
I try to work every single day, 7. But sometimes lately business has been a little bit slow, so I've only been doing like 5 or 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I tried it right now with like the sun going down early. It's only like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. working hours, unless I'm in the shop or like in the garage or something doing polishes or paint corrections. But if I'm doing mobile work outside right now, 7 to 5. Before the sun went down, it used to be like either 7 or 8 to like 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. So it's as much work as I can get in.
Hey, so let's just say there's some youngster, there's a 16-year-old out there who wants to start mobile detailing, wants to start detailing to make some extra money. What were some hard things you went through starting so young? Like, for example, did customers judge you because you were 16, 17? Like, this guy doesn't know about, you know what I mean?
I feel like a few might have, but they never really told me anything. I think probably a hard thing would be dealing with setting your prices and being firm on it, because a lot of people would try to like haggle me and be like, oh, well, you look young and everything. It's probably like throw a lower price and see if they'll take it or whatever, or just not want to pay my prices. And my prices were already cheap as they were. So that's probably like one thing I struggle with. And then not having the like setup, my own pressure washer, my own water, my own electricity, stuff like that. They would try to haggle me for price on that too. I'll be like, well, you're using my stuff, so I gotta like lower down the price. I'm like, oh,
dang.
So probably those two things.
How much were you charging when you first started? Like after you quit your uncle's shop?
25 for cars, outside wash and spray wax, and then a mini interior, another 25. So it'd be around $50 for both. But since business was super slow when I first started, I was just hungry for money, so I would give pretty much anybody like a great deal. I'd be like, oh, I'll do your car, $30, $20. Like, I'll just lowballing myself because I wanted to work.
Yeah, I got you. And you mentioned the first couple of weeks that you started a detailing business, you didn't get no customers.
Nothing. There's like calls and texts, but no one was booking. So it was like pretty much dead.
Who was your first customer? Do you remember?
Yes. I don't remember his name. I actually haven't posted on my Instagram. It was a bike, a black bike.
Like a motorcycle?
Yeah, motorcycle, a Yamaha. And he hit me up because he was getting ready to sell it, so he wanted clean to sell it. Charged him like $75. Wash, clay treatment, iron removal, paste wax, condition the seat. I took like 3 hours on it just because I was trying to be extra. It was the first client, so I wanted to be extra perfect, make sure he was satisfied and everything, so he could recommend his friends, get me more business. And it worked out. He gave me a 5-star review and everything.
How do you feel after finishing that first customer?
Pretty good. I thought I was gonna like blow up from there, but it still took a while to get more clients. Probably took me like another week, or actually no, I lied. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get my next customer, which was one of my friends from high school.
Yeah, hey man, you gotta get customers wherever you can, Tony. And let's just say there's a 16-year-old out there who wants to start a detailing business. What advice do you have? Do you recommend him jumping into a professional van, saving up? You know,
I just say start with what you can. You don't really need the best stuff. It does help, but I wouldn't like, in case this isn't for you, you never know. It might not like, you might not like it later on. Then you have all that stuff to get rid of it. It's gonna be a pain. You're gonna have to sell for cheaper, blah, blah, blah. I just say go with your gut. Just keep working hard. Keep trying to get those clients. It's hard out here for everybody.
You think start cheap?
Not necessarily start cheap. I've always been wanting to make like a video, like starting like a budget or something, like $100. I literally, when I quit my my uncle's business, or working with my uncle, I started with $500. And that's how I bought the electric pressure washer. I bought a little extractor, a little steamer, a few products, hose, extension cords. I actually took my parents' vacuum because I didn't have enough money to get a vacuum, so I took their vacuum.
So you made it work with what you got.
Yeah, you just gotta make it work with what you have, and then just save up every little job. Don't spend it on done stuff. Just save up, and I actually recommend reinvesting into your business as much as you can, so it just keeps growing. That's as long as you actually like it. Because if you're not liking it or enjoying it, it's not gonna like work out in the end. Well, there you guys have it. This is the story of how I started at 16 and still do it full time at 19. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe.